up to as well. You said something about engineering mixing chemicals. That is actually chemistry. So,
what
chemistry is.
And what do you guys do as chemical engineers? Because that's from the layman perspective, that's how we think about chemical engineering. It's like, okay, these guys are gonna wear big goggles, white those things, white things, and get into the lab. Kanti, what is chemical engineering and how does it differ from chemistry?
So we can do that. That is another advantage. Yes, we can do that, but that is not mainly what we do. That is chemistry, either analytical chemistry, physical chemistry. They work mostly in the lab. They deal with the fundamentals of chemistry, how when you mix this with this, you get something, anything. But we as chemical engineers look at it on a larger scale. That's the difference. Now we're not just looking at it in tubes, in small scale. We're looking at it in how do you take maize meal, for example. How do you take maize meal on a larger scale to produce petrol? To be used in the plant. Yes, it starts in the lab to mix and you say, okay, it'll do this and do this. But then we as chemical engineers say, okay, and how do we upscale that? What does that require? What kind of equipment would be able to handle such processes? What kind of piping are required? Because you're also moving chemicals or material from one point to another. That's the difference. It's the scale.
Oh, I see. Did you just say maize meal to petroleum?
Yes, you can use maize meal to produce biofuel. I think that was one of my projects when I was in high school. What is it? Science Expo, yes. You can ferment it in order for it to be used as biofuel. But obviously, it has pros and cons in the economy.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't know about that. That just struck me. I was like, maize meal. Students in class. Oh, sorry. One of my students in class who's doing chemistry with chemical engineering, they are just not sure as to what to do next, those kind of things. So they were just asking me, well, actually now I'm doing chemistry with chemical engineering. Then what am I going to do at the workplace, career-wise? Where's this taking me and stuff and all of those type of things? So what do you say about those kind of questions?
Okay, so to answer the student, I would say, okay, at some point, so you have to choose between chemistry or chemical engineering. So in your final year of chemistry, that's why you need to actually decide, okay, it's my passion in chemistry or it's in chemical engineering. So if it's in chemistry, so you need to apply for honors in chemistry. Then after graduation or graduating, so then you go into honors chemistry. Then if it's in chemical engineering, so in our time as well, I think we needed to apply for chemical engineering so that we can be able to proceed. So yeah, so actually it depends on where your passion is. So if you're passionate about chemistry, which you realize actually as time goes, maybe in your 2 to 3 years of chemistry, then you can go into chemistry. Then if you are more into chemical engineering, you can branch into chemical engineering as well. So yeah, so that's one thing I would say to her, or if it's him as well, to him. So yeah, because first year, especially if the person is still in first year, so it gets confusing because even ourselves at some point we're confused if should I take chemistry, should I take chemical engineering? So, but as time goes, you start to see with chemistry, it's very challenging. So then you run to chemical engineering, or maybe chemical engineering. It's also what people say it's on process. They tell you about process, then you're like, yo, I know I can't survive. Then you go to chemistry. So Yeah, but as I mentioned, people most of the time they always say things until you get to see by yourself.
Yeah.
Urban. So yeah, I think it's more on your passion.
I guess people are also looking at the job opportunities. Because I mean, with chemical engineering, they understand very well that okay, I'm gonna be a chemical engineer, whatever that means.
Mm.
Maybe I guess with
Yeah.
chemistry part, they are not sure as to okay, I'm gonna do chemistry, then what am I gonna be, type of thing.
Okay. So on that one, yeah, absolutely. So if you end up or if maybe you get to opt for chemistry, so I think eventually you need to do masters and PhD because I think the chances of employment with a degree in chemistry or maybe honors so are quite less. Yeah. So that's why I think I know most of the people who are now doing PhD in chemistry, some are in masters. So that's because you like the opportunities are less compared to if you go to chemical engineering with your honors. So yeah, so most of them they also end up in academics. So yeah, so which is a good thing as well. So yeah, chemistry I think it's more on academics. So you need to spend more time in your postgrad.
I see. I see. I see.
Yeah.